Right now at 6:30. Local police and the FBI investigating several threats to schools in Massachusetts. What we are learning tonight. Plus, later in the show, sports director Nick Coit will bring us highlights and post-game reaction from the Patriots' first game of the season against the Bengals. And Kelly is tracking the forecast.
Say hello to your new weather pattern. I'll let you know how long we get to keep this one coming up.
This is Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC 6 News at 6:30.
We'll get to Kelly and those stories shortly, but first tonight at 6:30, we are tracking breaking news out of New Bedford. The Bristol County District Attorney's Office identifying the two victims in a deadly crash that happened in New Bedford Friday morning. According to the DA, 35-year-old Gladys Coolin and her 13-year-old son, Will Neal, died after an Lexus SUV rolled over on Route 195 East near the Route 140 exit. Officials say there were 5 people in the SUV at the time of the crash. No word on their condition, but the investigation continues tonight. Now to our top story at 6:30. A suspect is still on the run after an armed home invasion in Cranston last night. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Alyssa Azara. According to police, they got a 911 call around 10 Saturday night from one of the 3 victims inside of a home on Pengrove Street. That victim then told police that 2 people broke in and were assaulting them, and one of them was armed with a machete. When police got there, they say they were able to intervene and arrested the man on your screen, 18-year-old Jaden Bourgeois from Cranston. The other suspect was not identified and ran away from the scene. The investigation remains active tonight. New tonight at 6:30, firefighters in Rainham are responding to a serious crash early this morning. It happened around 2:30 on Route 24 South at the interchange of Route 144. When they got to the scene, first responders say that a car had crashed underneath a guardrail and the driver was trapped inside. It took firefighters roughly 15 minutes to cut the driver free. They were flown to the hospital via Boston Med flight. No update on the victim's current condition. Fall River police are asking for any information related to an early morning car fire. It happened sometime before 1 a.m., on Wayne Street. Witnesses told police they saw a person in dark clothing near the vehicle shortly before the fire started. Police say they are also investigating 2 other car fires that happened 2 days ago. If you know anything, you are asked to call Fall River Police. Meanwhile, police upping their presence at Bridgewater Rainham schools this week after concerns over a social media chat. Rainham police say after an investigation, no credible threat to the schools or students was found. Police say they'll have an increased presence at schools this week out of precaution. No further information was available, but parents are urged to reach out to the superintendent with questions. Meanwhile, the FBI's Boston branch investigating after a bomb threat was made at an elementary school in Methuen, Massachusetts. It happened Saturday when the FBI learned about the threat made against the Timony Grammar School on social media. After tracing the account that posted the threat, officials say it belonged to a student and that the threat was not credible. Police say they are working with the school and will have extra patrols on Monday as a precaution. No charges have been filed at this time. Police in Newport, Middletown, and Portsmouth releasing their final report from their Operation Safe Summer, cracking down on traffic violations and drunk driving. In total, all 3 municipalities made more than 4,500 traffic stops and arrested 54 people for driving under the influence. All right, let's get a check on the forecast now. Meteorologist Kelly Bates joins us live in the Weather Center. Kelly, and not a bad Sunday we're having. Not bad at all.
You're absolutely correct, and what a difference a day makes. We have seen such a drop in our temperatures, our high temperatures from day to day. Today we topped out in the upper 60s. Your average high would put us in the upper 70s. Your average high for today is 77, so much cooler than what we typically would see, but what a gorgeous taste of fall. So a little bit of a preview here. Right now we do have ample sunshine still in place. Sunset time today is at 7:07. Mostly sunny skies. We have 66 degrees and we also have a dew point that is in the 40s, meaning it is bone dry out there. Winds are moving in from the west at about 10 miles per hour. So our current temperatures are ranging in the 60s around southern New England, from 63 in Smithfield to 65 in Newport, 67 in New Bedford, with 66 right now in the Providence area. So satellite Skyline radar, we're checking awesome. We're looking great. Plenty of sunshine to be found. And clear skies are expected overnight tonight. That swirling area of low pressure to our north is going to remain to our north. And in fact, high pressure is going to move in and take charge of our weather pattern. What that means for us is clearing of any clouds that we happen to have right now. During the overnight time frame, lows are going to be dropping off to close to 50 pre-dawn. But we are going to see sunshine right from the get-go. And that means a rapid response in temperatures. Now, today is going to be the coolest day that you're going to see of the next 7. In fact, it's not going to be too much of a wait till we get back to the 80s. I'll let you know if the muggies will return with those 80s coming up in just a couple minutes. Alyssa?
Sounds good. Thanks, Kelly. Turning now to other news making headlines this weekend. Foxborough police investigating a crash that claimed the lives of an elderly couple. It happened Friday night just before 5 near South and Cedar Streets. The Norfolk County DA's office says 85-year-old Joseph Borelli and his wife, 81-year-old Carol Borelli of North Attleboro, died at the hospital. Police say the driver of the other vehicle involved stayed on scene and is cooperating in the investigation. Meanwhile, Cranston police making a shocking discovery after arresting a man they say was threatening to kill his mother. It happened just before 11 Saturday morning at an apartment on Mushantucket Valley Parkway. Police say they were able to convince 32-year-old Chase Alberg of Warwick to surrender, which is when officers say they found several ghost guns making materials, including a fully assembled handgun and several high-capacity magazines. He is currently awaiting his arraignments. Fall River police are investigating after a shots fired incident Friday night. It happened near Ellsby Street around 8:30 after police say a group of kids were arguing. Officials say during the argument, 3 shots were fired and then the group ran away from the scene. Police recovered 3 shell casings where the shots went off. No word on any arrests. Narragansett police say 2 officers were assaulted while breaking up a party on Friday. It happened in the Bonnet Shores neighborhood. 2 people were arrested and no one was taken to the hospital. Still to come on ABC 6 News at 6:30, I-75 reopening in Kentucky after an active shooter investigation. Tonight, hear what we know about the suspect who is still considered armed and dangerous. Plus, Kelly is back with your 7-day forecast, what you can expect for the week ahead as we quickly approach the end of summer.